What's up everyone, Bando here with another video of mine, and today we do have the QAVR right here in my hands. Now I did just do a review, so you might be asking, like, Bando, why do you have the QAVR again? But today we will be basically upgrading the QAVR. I'm gonna go over how to do telemetry with the Lux-Fi controller, as well as how to depin the X4R, the S-Bus edition. So obviously the first step is to take off the screws, like so. Now just take off these 6 screws, the ones on the top, not on the bottom. So 1 down and 5 to go. Alrighty, so I got all 5 down, all 6 screws out. So just make sure you put it on the safe place, a flat area, so you don't lose it. I just put it right there because, yeah, you can buy spares, but yeah, you just don't lose the screws. So I'm just gonna take this rubber grommet off of this top plate because it's kind of in the way, and then move the front plate off like so. Now we are going to be desoldering these wires right here. These wires on the Lux-Fi controller. So that's the ground 5-volt and the receiver wire. And then we're going to be taking off the pins off of the X4R. So I would say the first step is to actually desolder the pins. Desolder these wires off of the what's it called? The Lux-Fi controller, and then we can desolder the pins on the X4R. So I'm just gonna heat up my soldering station. Alrighty, so I just got my soldering iron nice and heated up. Nice and heated up. So now just want to tin it like so. Clean the solder tip. Put some more solder in there, like so. And then now we will take the individual wires. I'm just using some tweezers to help me take the wires out. So you got that, and wait for it to heat up, and take it off like so. So now you want to do that for your receiver wire, your 5-volt wire, and yeah. Alright, so I got the 3 wires out right here, and now that we're done with that, we can now unscrew, because I did attach the wires, the antennas of the X4R to these standoffs. You have to unscrew the standoffs. I use these 2 bottom standoffs right here. So you just need to unscrew them. Oh god. Oh, dang it. Sorry. Alright, so get those screws out. Put it in your screw pile. And then take the other standoff out like so. And here you have it. Now you take I actually, so you can just rip it off like so. I double taped it, so you can take this double-sided tape, sorry, my bad. Take this double-sided tape off, like so, and here is your receiver. So you can now, as you just memorize this, you have your signal, your ground, your 5 volts, and then your ground. That's for S-Bus, and that's for this individual one right here. So right now you need to cut the heat shrink off, because we're going to be desoldering the pins off of the X4R. So just make sure, go on the side, go carefully and slowly. Try not to cut yourself or destroy the X4R. Alrighty, so I managed to take it off, the heat shrink. As you can see, I didn't rip the whole thing off, and that's because we need to protect it because my helping hands has these metal alligator clips that can easily destroy your electronics. So make sure, just if you don't have a quality helping hands, then make sure you keep that heat shrink on. So you can take this helping hands off, and now what you need to do is take this wire off, make sure it's signal 5 volts and then ground, and you can put this out of the way. And now X4R, what you want to do is try to get this thing, these black plastic, whatever you call these things, holders or protectors for the pins. So what I like to do is just cut it off with some wire cutters. Alright, so after a lot of blood and a lot of tears, I finally got these stupid pin holder things off. So as you can see, all I have is pins. So you can go ahead and take your helping hands, put it on the heat shrink like so. Make sure you're not damaging any electronics. Alright, so what you can do is flip it over like so and get your soldering iron. Make sure it's nice and warm, and oh man, it's all dirty. Make sure you clean it. Alright, so I finally got the pins, all the pins off. It took a while and I couldn't do it on the camera because the position I'm in is pretty hard. I'm like all hunched back, and it's kind of hard, or very hard, to do any soldering, so I just did it off camera. But here it is, right here. So now you need to get the QVR back here. Let me just move my stuff. Swipe my desk, and here's the QVR. Now what we need to do is take a servo wire like so, and we need to solder it onto these pads, and then feed it underneath here, and then solder it onto this what is it called, receiver. So that's what I'm gonna do now. First, you want to cut it off like so. Snap. Take this, you don't need it anymore. You put it in the trash or save it. I don't know why you want to save it, but if you want to save it, go ahead and save it. But you got these wires, and now you can strip it off and use your fingernails, because this wire is very thin, like so. And now you want to put some solder on these wires. You want to tin them. Alright, so I tinned all of them, and where's our soldering iron? Now you need to connect this yellow wire. This yellow wire is your signal wire. Where's my solder? Anyways, this is the signal wire, and you want to solder the signal wire to the RX port on your receiver, your flight controller. So make sure you have solder on your RX port, and solder away. Alrighty, so done soldering these two wires again. So as you can see, the yellow is to the RX, the red is to the 5 volt, and the brown is to the ground. So now what we need to do is try feeding this, or somehow feed this wire down underneath this. Try to feed it down under the PDB. So see you guys after I'm done fiddling around with this PDB, because it's kind of hard to get the wires through. So yeah. Alrighty, so I got I fed the wire down underneath the PDB using these tweezers. It took some time, but I finally got it. So now go ahead and take a receiver and place it where you think you want where you want it to be, and just make sure you have some slack. And then, okay, that's where I want it. That's where I want it. How short the wire should be. And now you just cut it off. Done. So now you can separate these wires like so, like that, and strip them off like that. And now you want to put some solder on them. Alrighty, so I finished soldering the wires onto the X4R. Now, as you can see, I do have some hot glue here just to prevent it from moving around, and so they don't short, because these pins are very close to each other. And another thing that I did is I cut some heat shrink out. So I have some heat shrink, and what you need to do is just put it right over the SmartPort. I didn't even say that right. SmartPort, like so. And now you can just use a heat gun and shrink it down. So I'm gonna go back inside to do that myself. Actually, before you actually heat shrink it, make sure you just check that it works. So just plug in the battery and see if you have full control. Go through all the switches, just so you're confident that you soldered everything correctly. And yeah, now you can heat shrink it. Alrighty, so I tested it and heat shrinked it, and everything seems to work. So yay, congratulations with your build. And now the second thing, sorry that this video is very long, because this is my first time actually doing this. But anyways, now we are going to be doing telemetry. So what you want to do is clear your desk, cut out a little slit off of the heat shrink for your, what is it called? SmartPort. So just cut this. Alright, so I cut the slit, and just make sure that you can plug the SmartPort wire in and out like so. And make sure it can go all the way in. You need to push it all the way in. But yeah, now take this wire out, and you want to use this wire right here, the white wire. So, and you want to remove these wires off. So to do so, there's little slits, and you use a X-Acto knife and lift the tabs up, and there goes the wires. So like so. And for the red wire, you take it out like so, fairly easy. Now, this is a separate wire. You can save it if you want. You can use it for future builds. But what we want is this white wire right here. Now, there's a notch right here. As you can see, there's a little notch right there. And that notch is supposed to face down. And you want to put that all the way at the end. So all the way at the right, like so. And now you can plug that thing. You can plug it into your X4R, into the SmartPort port. Like, let me get it. Like so. So it's all the way in. And now we need to solder this wire onto the T2 port. So the T2 port is this port right here, right next to the one. This is the T2 port, and that's basically your UART2 port. Now you can't use your T1, because your T1 is, if you're running S-Bus like I am, that the T1 is, or the UART1 is being used up by your S-Bus. So make sure you connect it to the T2. So what I'm going to do is place it where I want it to be. I think I like that. That's pretty good. And mark where. Actually, let me move this wire and mark where you want to solder it, and then snip the wire. Alright, so I cut the wire to length, and this is the SmartPort wire. And if anyone doesn't know what SmartPort wire is, SmartPort is basically a system from FR Sky, basically the creators of the Tyrannus, the radio that I am using. And SmartPort is a technology that enables you to get telemetry such as voltage, amperage, how much battery life you have, and all sorts of different telemetry through only one single wire. So it's a pretty cool feature. So what you need to do now is tin the wire, as well as put some solder on the T2 pad and solder them together. Now that you're done with that, you can plug it in. Alrighty, so it's all plugged in. I use a yellow wire instead because it's easier to see instead of the white. And now what you want to do is, as well as last time, is to put some hot glue onto this port, not only to prevent it from shorting, but because this wire is very brittle, after a while it will snap off, because it's not a very expensive wire. But yeah, just put some hot glue onto that, and I'm pretty much done. So I'm going to go back inside to put some hot glue on that, and then I'll show you how to set up the LuxFly controller to put telemetry on the X4R. Alrighty, so we are back inside, and as you can see, this is the KVR. So what we're going to be doing is set up this LuxFly controller in here to be able to work or be able to use telemetry. So flip this over and get your nice little USB cable and plug it into the LuxFly controller like so. And then you want to plug that into your computer. So plug it in like so, and then the lights go off. And now what you can do is go to Clean Flight Configuration. I'm gonna switch the screen to my computer screen. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm over here. Hello, this is my mouse. So this is the AVR. This is what it looks like. So now what you want to do is go to configuration down here and scroll down. So make sure you have battery voltage. So VBAT for battery voltage monitoring system, and just leave all these things down here. And if you want to do current, so if you want to know your amperage, that kind of stuff, stuff, then go ahead and select that, but I don't really do that. And then scroll down to telemetry, and select, and then save and reboot. And then it'll reload. So go back to configuration, and as you can see it says telemetry output. So now I can go back to the ports, and then so as you can see, UART 1 is for my serial RX or the S bus. So make sure you select this one, and then go to SmartPort because we already need a SmartPort, and save and reboot. So yeah, that's all you have to do for the Q8VR. Now I'm gonna switch back to the normal camera. Alright, so I'm back on the main camera, so just make sure you press eject or disconnect on the clean flight configurator, and then you can unplug it. Now, there you have it. You know how to do telemetry and have ports on your QAVR, so it's much lighter, as well as you can have telemetry on your battery voltage and things like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much it on how to do telemetry on your QAVR. If you want, there's a lot. I'm not going to do a video on how to set up your Taranis for telemetry because there's plenty of other videos out there on the YouTube world that will show you how to do that. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like this video, make sure you give a big thumbs up, and if you want more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and you'll get notifications whenever I post a new video. And if you have any questions or comments, leave it in the description below. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. What are you doing? You're making really bad sound effects. Don't even think about it. Alright, ready? It's not even. This is actually from. Yeah.